Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Your Mindset, Your Power. And if you're here today for the first time, I love to have you here. Welcome. Today I want to talk about fear and uncertainty. One of the most common questions I get in sessions, in my DM, and listen, even in conversations with friends. How do I deal with fear? And how do I handle all this uncertainty? Because let's be honest, the world can feel overwhelming, right? Things are changing fast, and many of us feel stuck or unsure of what comes next. Things like fear of the future, fear of failure, fear of making a mistake, and sometimes it's not even fear of something bad. Not necessarily bad, but it's a fear of finally doing the thing we've been dreaming about. So in today's episode, I want to help you understand fear differently, my friend. Not as something to run from, but something to learn from. Because fear will always show up. Yes, the key is not letting it control you or shrink your life. I'll give you some tools that won't necessarily magically make fear disappear, but they will help you build a relationship with it so you can keep moving forward, even if your voice is shaking. So let's dig in because we have a lot to cover, my friend. Let's go to step number 1. Fear is a signal, not a stop sign. Here's the thing. Fear is part of our biology. Yeah, it's part of our DNA. It's wired into us to keep us safe. So in real danger, like if someone is pointing a gun at us, fear is there for a reason. It activates your alarm system. That amygdala, that part of your brain that gets activated by fear and dread. Yeah, that one. But here's where it gets tricky. Most of our fear today isn't about survival. No, it's imagined fear, future-based fear. What if this goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I get rejected? What if I freeze during a presentation? Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. So you ended up living inside stories that haven't even happened yet. So here, listen, guys. Fear is a sign that something matters. It's pointing you towards growth, not danger. No. Let's expand this in the next step. Step number 2. Ask yourself, is this fear real or is a thought I'm rehearsing in my head? Let me give you this first tool. Write it down. Write down the fear. Take that fear out of your mind and put it on paper. The reality is that your mind loops. When you journal it, gives you clarity. See it this way. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle in your head with all the pieces scattered in your head. Trying to make sense to what if and the worst case scenarios. Oh, so overwhelming, right? It will be so overwhelming. It's crazy. It's impossible. But when you dump the pieces out in front of you, now you can actually put them together. Now that fear starts to shrink in the face of clarity. Let me give you another example of an exercise that I have done myself and with my clients. Let's picture yourself, the version of you who is 10 years older, wiser, right? Have already walked through this moment. But now, so ask your future self, what would you want me to do right now? So often that question cuts through that fear fog like a knife. So amazingly, because that brings instant clarity. Yes, you are just thinking from wisdom, not panic or worry. The noise quiets, and the next step becomes so obvious. So remember, your future self is proud of you for trying, not for being perfect, my friend. Let's go to step number 3. Fear comes from inexperience, not because you're incapable. No, listen, very often you are afraid because you haven't done it yet, not because you can't do it. Or, what do you have to do then? Find the courage to go for it scared. Try that new thing. Start that side hustle. Make that call, even if you feel uncomfortable, especially if you feel uncomfortable. Because fear doesn't always mean you're not ready. Sometimes it means you're just new. You need the experience. Let me give you an example. Starting a new job. Exhausting at the beginning, right? Not because you're not capable, but because it's all unfamiliar. Because you're learning new things, because you're adapting to a new environment. Totally normal. Fast forward a few weeks and what happens? Everything gets better, right? Less stress, right? Why? Because now you've got the experience. Let me give you another example. If you drive a car, remember learning how to drive? You were so tense at the beginning, right? You had to pay attention to every single move you made. It was exhausting because you were inexperienced. As you practiced more and got, more experience, fear started to shrink. You felt more confidence. Because remember, you are not afraid because you can't. You are afraid because you haven't got the experience yet, and you can only get it by doing it. Let's go to step number 4. Name the fear. I call it a butterfly moment. That feeling in your stomach before a big moment. It could be like when you are in a roller coaster and you're about to hit like a big drop. That feeling in your stomach. Or the second before you are given a speech. Right before you post your first video or just make a move on a girl you like. That fear, it's fear, but it's also excitement. That's a butterfly moment, my friend. Let me share something personal with you. I've always had a deep fear of crowded places, elevators especially. I felt claustrophobic, anxious, like I needed to escape. And for a long time, I tried avoiding them so badly. Then it got worse, and I started avoiding other events or other crowded places. And little by little, I noticed my life was shrinking until one day I made a big decision and I said, this is it. This fear was not going to steal my life. I wasn't going to let fear win. So I started applying these same tools I'm sharing with you today. Was it easy? Heck no. It was uncomfortable every time. But I started facing the elevators and I started going to those places again. And little by little, it started to feel easier and better. And I will walk in and I will repeat to myself, I'm safe. I'm safe. I will still feel those butterflies. I'm not going to lie. But instead of running from them, I will whisper, those butterflies are showing me the way. And I need to follow them. That's what I mean when I say, name your fear, dance with it, get into a relationship with it. Because shrinking your life to avoid discomfort, that's not an option, my friend. No, don't run from the butterflies. Follow them. They are pointing you towards the thing you're meant to do. So go and do exactly that. Step number 5. Let's talk for a moment about fear of rejection. I think this feeling is universal, right? We all have felt it. But listen, guys, I want you to know rejection is not a failure. No, it's not. It's actually proof that you had the courage to try. It's the toll you pay on the road to becoming a stronger, wiser, better version of yourself. Every no brings you one step closer to that one yes that changes everything. You get rejected, you readjust, you learn, you come back stronger because sometimes that rejection is actually redirection. It's protection. Sometimes it's saving you from something or someone that was never meant for you, or even redirecting you to something even better. I once read that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. And that's so true because most of the time we are afraid of something that hasn't even happened yet or is not even true. Because if you're afraid of rejection, being paralyzed by fear should scare you even more. Now think about it this way. Let's say, let me give you an example. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time, got cut from his high school basketball team. Yeah, he did not make the team. Can you imagine that? He could have taken that rejection and quit. But he didn't. He used it. He trained it harder. He came back better. And that rejection, it became part of his life story. Because, let's be honest, You never got better when things were easy, right? Comfort doesn't change you. Challenge does. Rejection doesn't mean you're not enough. It just means you're being strengthened. You're being leveled up. So next time you hear a no, say thank you. Say thank you and keep moving forward. Let's go to step number 6. Action shrinks fear. Avoidance grows it. Let me explain. This is one that changes life, my friend. Fear and action can't coexist for long. No, they can't. They simply can't. The moment you take one step action, fear starts to lose power. So pick one action, just one. Send that email, make that call, step into the moment you're scared of, not when you feel ready. Do it now. Because fear says, wait, but action says, go. And guess who growth listens to? Yep, you got it. Action, right? Definitely not fear. Let's go to step number 7. Cultivate resilience, one choice at a time. Let me be honest, you can't live without fear and uncertainty. If you came to Earth expecting comfort 24/7, you are in the wrong planet, my friend. But you can become someone who responds differently, someone who shows up scared, who faces the moment, who learns to breathe through it. And I get it. There are moments in life where fear is heavy. A diagnosis, a loss, a moment of crisis. Yeah, I'm not here to tell you to be fearless in those moments. No, that wouldn't be fair or even human. But listen, even on those hard moments, you still have a choice. You cannot always control the fear. No, but you can learn to manage it. You can still show up stronger for yourself or someone you love. Just a little bit, even if it's just a little bit stronger. You can still choose presence, and presence means showing up exactly as you are, with fear and all. You don't have to eliminate fear, my friend. You just have to learn how to walk with it. Let's go to number 8, because here I'm going to share a toolkit that you can use in any situations where fear shows up. Let's go to tool number 1. Ask yourself, is this fear real or imagined? Most of the time, it's a thought looping around your head, not necessarily a threat, right? Second, ask yourself, what would my 10-year-older version tell me to do? You'll be surprised how really this shifts your perspective. Yes, I know we talked about it earlier, but these are like an example of the tools, and even more tools I'm adding to the list. The third one is write it down. Take fear out of your mind so you can strip away its power. 4, give it a name. Call it battle flight mode. Call it excitement. Make it playful. Why not, right? 5, breathe. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. Repeat that for 2 minutes to calm your body. You can feel more in control. It works. Try it. 6, change your scenery. Go for a walk. Go to the gym. Talk to someone you trust. It shifts completely your energy. 7, start small. Don't wait to feel fearless. Do the scary thing afraid. But do it. Just do it. Number 8, create a mantra. This is good. I'm safe. Like I did in the elevators. I'm safe. I'm excited. I've been scared before. Whatever works for you, my friend. It's very powerful. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. First, we talk about fear is a signal, not a stop sign. Next, write it down. Ask your future self. Next, you are not incapable. You're just new. You haven't done it yet. Next, name your fear. Call it a butterfly moment. Follow the butterfly. Next one, take one step. Action neutralizes fear, remember. Cultivate resilience, one choice at a time. Learn how to walk with it. And last, build your personal toolkit. Use it often. Keep it in your back pocket, my friend. And let me tell you, if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. Where your fear is, there is your task. That fear is not random. It's pointing you to the next step. Fear says, back away, quit. But wisdom says, go into it. You know, that thing you have been avoiding, that's exactly the thing that could change your life. Would you mess up sometimes? Of course you will. Would you be rejected? Yeah, many times. But living scared is better than shrinking your life to avoid discomfort. Yes, even in the hardest moments, you can still breathe and say, I'm here, I'm feeling it, and I'm moving through it. Remember, fear isn't new to you. You have had scary moments in your past, yes, and you didn't let that stop you. This one is just another moment you'll get through. Yes, you will. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Don't run. Don't wait. Don't try to be perfect. Just go, my friend. And as always, I believe in you 100%. I appreciate you being here. Join me next week for another powerful conversation as we continue building a stronger mindset together. Because remember, your mindset is your true power. And if you think this episode could help someone, share it. Don't forget to subscribe and connect with me. Links below. I love you guys. Talk to you next week. Have an awesome week.